Hi, how's it going? My name's Meredith, founder of Healthy Voice, and I'm here to talk to you about brokenness. 2 weeks ago today, I broke my forearm. It's the one you always write with. In reality, it's not a big deal because I cracked it, but the big deal was that I spent the last year injured with a dislocated shoulder, in recovery, in physical therapy, finally getting back into shape, working out last weekend with my husband, getting on the machine, and then I fell, tripping on a towel. Thankfully, my shoulder was okay, but my arm wasn't. Yes, I heard the word fracture when I went and got my x ray, and I just about fell apart. But I know God had me. So my will was ready to finally get healthy and run this turkey trot and have it all happen now. But I had to ask God, what are you doing this for? I know this is for my good. What are you trying to teach me? Which is what I always ask him. Then I realized the power that he's using in my brokenness of this arm. He's telling me that a broken bone is what he wants. He wants me broken. And he showed me that in a bone. How cool is that? I looked in the Bible and found an example. 2 Corinthians verse 7. It's all about the jars of clay and how God wants us to become jars of clay and how his light breaks through our weakness. And then I looked at Corinthians verse 12, verse 9, and how his weakness is where our greatest strength lies. Our weakness is where his strength lies. I always ask God, like I said, what are you trying to teach me? And he doesn't always show me, but he always leads me, either to his word or he shows me through people. What he's showing me through this experience is, wow, he really uses crazy things sometimes to show me he's there. Is it frustrating? Yeah. Is it painful? Yeah. But it reminds me I'm not in charge. No matter how much I feel like I'm ready, I'm not in charge. And let me give you an example. I had surgery on April 4th. I had fallen on January 3rd. I have spent literally the last year in recovery with this shoulder. I said that earlier. Point being that my sedentariness made me gain 40 pounds. Nobody wants to gain 40 pounds, especially somebody that struggles with their weight, that is insecure about their weight, it's always been something that just kind of, it just comes on. When I stop working out, it comes on. And so it has been a real spiritual experience for me to gain this weight and to stand here. I mean, you can't see my whole body. I'll do one sometime like that. But, to stand here and just be broken. I wanted to do this video because I thought, oh, I have to have it all together. I did some really professional videos and they were awesome. But, here I am writing all these scripts thinking that I have to have this all done in order to do it. And then I realized God kept saying to me in my morning time with him, will you please just start sharing these messages? Just start. And what a better way to start sharing these messages than in my brokenness? I'm imperfect. I don't have it all together. And who needs that message more than every single woman and probably man I know in this day and age? So I don't really care if you're high school, college, 20s, 30s, 40s. We all need to know that our brokenness is where the beauty begins. That's where God starts to work. Like I said, I'm going to repeat it again. 2 Corinthians verse 9. Paul was talking about his crutches and he was talking about his thorn in his side. And I'll talk about this more in my next video. But God says to him, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. He is strong in us when we are weak. And sometimes people will say to me that don't understand him, will say, I don't know how you go through what you go through. I go through it because God gives me the strength to go through it. And every single struggle that I have been through, or my husband and I have been through in this year, has been a blessing because I know that God's using it for some kind of good. I know that he's using this season to, it's going to change our lives. It's going to change, my stepkids' lives. I never know whose life he's going to change through what he's doing in me. It's never about me. It's always about him. And I'm doing this video today, and I want you to know that This is not about me. I'm not doing this to be famous on YouTube. I'm not doing this to, make it all about me. Again, I'm doing this because a lot of us need to hear the message that it's okay to be broken because God is strong in our brokenness and He's the one that heals us. He created us perfectly imperfect, but we sin. We have flaws. We aren't perfect, and that is not a bad thing because we get I say to lean on him. And that is the coolest thing I've ever experienced because through every day I learn more and more where I'm not leaning on him and where I need to lean more on him. So I'm going to leave you with this today. I want you to think about what season God may be carrying you through. I want you to look at Philippians, I think it is, on the seasons of your life. You can go to the Bible app and just look up seasons. Or you can, the one that says there's a time for everything, a season for everything, because it might help you get some perspective on where you're at in your life at this very moment and to just have peace and to rest that He may be doing something with this season, even though it might be rough. I mean, you might be going through grief. You might be going through physical pain like I am. You might be, I don't know what you're going through. But whatever you're going through, read that. Read 2 Corinthians 9 and 10 and just think about how cool it is that when we get to know Him, when we understand how much He loves us, we get to see how strong He is in our weakness. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I thought of this funky phrase that I want to use. I'm going to say, I'm going to tune out so you can tune into your life. And next time, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the earlier part of that 2 Corinthians where he talks about the thorn in his side. Because I can tell you right now, I know the thorn in my side, and I can tell you what God's doing with me in it. So until then, I'm going to sign off from what we like to call the frozen tundra today because we have so much snow here in the Midwest. And I hope you have a great afternoon.